weekly update. Today, I want to share with you my thoughts about the inauguration of our U.S. president this past week, and some of the events that I saw took place afterwards on a energetic level. First of all, I noticed that well, let me back up. I was glued to the television all day watching these events. Not necessarily because of this man. It's because of what he represented. Being biracial, he represented an integration of the light and the dark, and the fact that the light and dark is manifested in various forms, such as the issue between the blacks and the whites. So here's a man who's both black and white, who is finally becoming president, and out of that integration that he represented, a healing took place, because when you integrate, healing does take place at a very, very deep core level. And I saw that manifested in the faces of the people that they showed on television. And you could just feel it in the air. The black people felt pride. They walked taller. They held their heads high. And I, for one, was very, very overjoyed for them, because growing up in the South, I saw the kind of fear that they lived under. So that in itself was fabulous. But beyond that, I noticed that there was messages being sent out. One is about being responsible. He talked about being responsible. So, that is a step in achieving godhood and reclaiming our powers, that we must be responsible for how we use our power, whether we understand how we use it or not. And so I saw people talking about being responsible, and they began to realize that they are in a place to be able to instigate the change that they want. They're no longer thinking, oh, well, somebody else is going to do it for us. It's like they reclaimed that power and said, I can be part of creating that change. I can be instrumental in that. And just to see their eyes light up when they have this newly reclaimed power was just so wonderful to witness. And then the third thing is he kept talking about volunteering. I noticed that there was numerous ads from volunteer organizations being played that day on TV, saying, come here and like volunteeramerica.org and find a charity that you want to volunteer your time for. And to me, that was fabulous, because they're saying now, not only do we, you are now responsible for creating the change, but here's a way to do it. So they give you a how-to. Go and volunteer. Go and give your time to help America get out of this mess. So I thought that was fabulous. And then beyond that, I noticed that there's just a huge energy shift that happened that day. And I've talked, for years now about the dimensions overlapping, the fact that we have 4-dimensional grids, we have 4 realities intertwined and overlapping right now. But as of that election day, I noticed that they split. They finally began to really separate. And with the third dimension going in one direction, and the 4, 5, and 9 dimensions, you need to go back and read about those on the website, going in a different direction. And I realized that we're going to have a one-world government. I mean, unity consciousness is all about a one-world government. Stop and think about it. We want this new reality in which we're all one and we're united. Well, we're talking about a one-world government there as well. The difference is how that looks, how it ends up manifesting. And I think we're going to have a one-world government with multiple manifestations. Like the 3D is going to be very enslaving. But then you're going to have 4, 5, and 9, and each one of those you're going to find a little bit more liberation and freedom, with 9 being the most, having the most freedom. So I think the days ahead are going to be so fascinating to watch and witness, because you're going to see people really starting to choose a path, and they're going to start manifesting out of that. So these realities that we kept talking about, we're going to, separate and start manifesting individually. is already begun. So I just wanted to share that with you. And in regards to Obama, you know, you have to be willing to work for the establishment to even get into office. So I think he's going to have a very difficult time deciding which side of the fence he's going to be on. And I think he's probably going to try to straddle it and be on both. And but you know, here's the thing. Our president, as I wrote about in President Bush and the Formula of Compassion, your president of your country always represents the mass consciousness of the people. So if you have a president who's acting like a goofball, you have to look at yourself and see if that's the mass consciousness. Well, we're all acting like goofballs with this hyper consumerism and consumption that we were doing, like buy. That's kind of crazy. We were acting sort of like him. So now we've got somebody who's saying, we've got to stop behaving that way. We've got to start taking responsibility and act like adults, basically. So he is now representing where we are today. It's like we're waking up and we're going, whoa, wait a minute, we made some choices that we now need to make new choices on. And so he's reflecting where we are right now. And as we continue to step up to the plate, we're going to influence on the spiritual level what this man does, which side of the fence he ends up ruling on in any particular situation. So the thing is that we can either support him in being on the side for integration, or we can support, or by our lack of support or our unwillingness to take responsibility, we will end up influencing him to err on the side of the global elite. Because we aren't being responsible at that point. So I just wanted to share this with you and see what you think. Send me your comments. I'd love to hear them, and post them on the YouTube page. That would be great so other people can hear them or read them. And I'm looking forward to an amazing 3.5-year ride to 2012. So let's all do our part and make sure it's what we want it to be. So take care. Bye-bye.